Hi, I'm Nikki,
Hi, I'm Kat.
and we are Cat and Mouse Astrology, and this is the Virgo eclipsed moon. Wowzers in March. Hello, moon.
Yes, it's
Hello, moon.
it's it's rising as we are recording, and it is gloriously pale in the sky.
Yeah, and this is we're we're at a place now of the spring equinox. So we're right here at this spot, which is a beginning. And because of the Pisces part of this eclipse, it's kind of an end and a beginning and a beginning and an end. Okay.
Yeah, that's how they go.
Yeah. Yeah. So Virgo and Moon is an interesting configuration. The moon is emotional and comforting, and it wants us to be safe and cuddly. And Virgo's analytical and maybe seen as sometimes, like separating the wheat from the chafe,
Mm,
and maybe a little focused and picky,
yeah,
more of a negative Virgoan perspective, but
perfectionist.
perfectionists. There's also the, Virgo as the Vestal Virgin
Right.
that, keeps the light, um, and, holds the spiritual truth for the community.
Hmm.
And that having the moon eclipsed in Virgo, um, I think that's an interesting it's an interesting mythology.
Yeah. So, like, what do eclipses mean again?
Well, we're in the middle of the Venus 40 days and 40 nights in the underworld.
Oh man.
So she went down into the underworld the 1st of March,
Mm-hmm.
40 days and 40 nights. So
Mm,
she will not see the light. She will not come back out to the other side of the sun. She will not be in her morning star phase until in April. And so this is a revisiting, it's a um revamping, like I gotta clean everything out of this dirty room and make it pretty again, or I've gotta remove everything from my novel that I don't like and make it pretty again, or I've gotta think of, fill in the blank. What
it's a
is it?
spring. It's a spring cleaning.
It's a
Is what
spring cleaning.
the spring
Yeah,
cleaning.
definitely a spring cleaning. And somehow the moon is making it maybe more emotional, more potent, and what we're letting go of might be a little more, heartfelt. What's our Sabian symbol? Let's take a look at the chart and the Sabian symbols.
What's the degree?
It's a 23-degree moon, 23-degree Virgo.
Mary and her white lamb.
Mary, Mary and her white lamb.
Mary, who had a little lamb.
And that lamb really stuck with Mary
Yeah, right?
everywhere she went, that lamb.
Companionship and innocence.
Yeah, yeah, companionship and innocence.
Hmm.
That's very nice. And notice, this is the north node that is close to conjunct within 5 degrees of the moon. And a north node moon, is, we're moving towards this Virgoan north node moon. No, wait, I'm wrong. Forgive me. Boop, slap, slap. This is a south node moon, the north
Mm.
of Pisces. So we're letting go of something here.
Hmm.
The moon is
Oh,
the light on what we're letting go of.
innocence and companionship.
It could be innocence and companionship. Eek. Yikes. Yeah,
I
I don't know.
don't like that. Let's see what the sun is.
Yeah.
Oh, and Pisces, wrong way. I'm in the wrong direction here. 23. An inhabited island.
Oh, an inhabited island.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Maybe Mary and her little lamb are too insular. Maybe it's too like a community expansion kind of thing is what I'm thinking. If it's just Mary and her lamb, and they're just like, we stick together and we've always got each other's back, and that's great, but you're still pretty isolated. Maybe you need an inhabited island, more community.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's what we're looking at is opposite the sun and Saturn and the North Node.
Mm.
So Saturn is combust the sun, moving into darkness. Saturn is dying.
What degree is Saturn at?
It's at 22 degrees Pisces.
A materializing medium giving a seance.
Yeah. Boy, is that perfect? Is that perfect? That's perfect because Saturn is materializing.
Mm.
The
Mm.
seance is Pisces.
True.
Pisces is the collective unconscious,
Right.
right? Read it one more time.
A materialism medium giving a seance.
Yeah. And the sun is shining its light on this. And this is the direction we are meant to go. This is
Uh-huh.
our future, the North Node.
Okay.
So something about our collective unconscious being made real. And since Saturn is now going into its death zone, it will rebirth again,
Mm.
in a
Mm.
week or so, or a few days to a week. When it is reborn on the other side of the sun, that may show an actualization, a solidification, a realization of this dream thing. A lot of astrologers think that when Saturn and Neptune actually conjoin, that might be a realization of dreams,
Mm.
right? Or, an actualization of a nightmare. I don't, Neptune can both be can be
I mean,
both
one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist.
right. Illusion, delusion, and also the beautiful dream of collective unconsciousness and that place where we all swim together in delight.
The spheres overlap and entangle.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to be on?
Well, I think it's real interesting. It feels to me like this is a prelude, this actualization, the Saturn Sun with the North Node and Neptune is a prelude to what we're going to be seeing when Saturn actually conjoins Neptune in Aries in 2026.
Oh shit, we still got time to go.
We got a
Okay,
long ways to go
okay,
while
good. It's time to prepare. It's time to prepare. And I
right.
will just go ahead and say again the quote I learned from Maya Angelou. Prepare yourself so that you can be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud.
Ooh.
Because both things are going to be true at all times, right? Some people are going to be in clouds and be a rainbow
Yeah.
just as much as you can be.
Yeah, it's good to be the rainbow,
There.
and it's good to have a rainbow when when you're surrounded by Neptune and you need to have a little bit of uh hope,
Mm-hmm.
visual hope. So this is a really interesting moon, and the other thing that I think makes it really cool is that we've got the wedge with
Yeah, can you go
yeah,
back? I can't see the chart anymore.
you can't?
No,
Uh-oh.
is that just me? Or are you not
No,
sharing?
I did some weird things to show everything, and I may have made it show nothing. Who knows?
Well,
Uh,
I'm seeing you, but I'm not seeing
okay,
the chart anymore.
let me share it. Can you see it now?
Yes, no, I can.
Okay,
Thank
cool. So it's got this beautiful wedge with a sextile with the sun and Uranus. and a trine with this with Uranus and the moon. So
Mm,
Uranus is the way out.
yeah, let's see. It's the ramp. Mickey and I were talking before we started recording, and she'll have to tell you about wedges.
Right. As a wedge, we're dealing with an opposition with the sun and the moon. They're playing tug of war. They're pulling, they're at odds. And what satisfies or what resolves the tension of the tug of war is Uranus. And it kind of like I'm feeling like it's like a rubber band because Uranus is such an oddball. It's the change maker. It's the disruptor. We don't know what might happen, what Uranus might bring. So
Okay, I'm
the
so
way
excited.
out, though, the relief is going to be from Uranus. Maybe a sudden storm.
We're so blessed. We're so blessed. Listen to Uranus, 24 Taurus, a large, well kept public park.
Like a large, well-kept public park. Yeah, I
Well,
think I think we're without getting political, I think a whole lot of us are like, no, no, you're not taking our public park. You're not
well,
taking
yeah,
my school. You're
like,
not taking my public library. You're not. No, no,
yeah,
no, no, no.
common good, the public good, the common good. That's what it's pointing towards, right?
It's
Not Mary and her little lamb. Like Mary's got her little lamb, and that's Mary's lamb. No, it's the inhabited island with the medium doing a seance to all like your dead people, because that's part of your community too.
that's
And
right.
we focus on the well kept public places because that's how you build a community.
And the feedback from those uh, ancestors about how to keep those public places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So notice we have another trine here between the sun and Mars.
It's a double wedge.
I'm telling you. And of course, that means that there's a sextile between Mars and the moon. And that means that the we are now in a forward moving Mars. It's been at 17 degrees for flipping ever. It's
Right.
just now moved to 18. Mars is saying, okay, we have the ability to take action in a positive way.
Interesting. It's a priest performing a marriage ceremony,
Wow.
which is also a public union. Generally speaking, it's a public event.
A priest performing a marriage ceremony.
Ceremony.
Hmm.
I'm going to go with the same theme of expanding community, which is what marriages initially were. They were between families, right? It wasn't just Mary and her little lamb, the union of the two. It was a much broader union and
Read
a,
it
and
one
a
time.
community expansion and networking and
Yeah.
tying community together kind of thing.
Read it one more time.
A priest performing a marriage ceremony.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting. And again, as the relief from the tension. So something about ritual
Mm-hmm.
creating a way to release the tension. I
Hmm.
don't know really, I can't be, that's just the symbolism I hear there.
Well, it is a rituals are liminal periods, and liminal periods do part of their function is to release some sort of tension to recreate stability.
And it makes perfect sense because who is the priest? Well, Saturn is the one who takes on the roles of, that father, that, or even the Grim Reaper, the figure that in the end is the one who says, here's the staff and I'm going to pass judgment or, and Mars is and Saturn in this positive configuration is very solidifying and motivating for whatever this eclipse has to offer. So something's going to be let go or removed from our lives in some way, right here, right now. We can see it with the South Node, and it's going to be emotional. The tension is over here in what's trying to be solidified in a really watery way where we can't really see what's going on, but we're moving towards this watery way, and it's either illusion, delusion, or it's a dream, and we don't know.
Okay, let's read 27 and 29. I know
Yeah.
they haven't changed.
27 is close to 28 too.
The fertile garden under the full moon.
Yeah.
And 29.
Yeah.
The majestic rock formation that the child grows up to resemble.
Uh-huh. So there's some, iconic symbolism of strength and um, community joy that
Abundance.
and abundance that we want to move towards that requires the structure and the perseverance of Saturn,
Mm-hmm.
and also requires the action and the, cutting off
Ritual.
what we don't need of Mars.
Yes. Oh my God, what a gorgeous chart. So genius.
Now I can't help but look at the Black Moon Pluto square.
Okay.
It's not by sign.
Not by sign. Let's not call it a square.
Yeah, yeah, it's 5 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
They're interacting, but not directly.
Right. Side by side play.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and see what the black moon is. Is that 28 degrees?
Yep, that's 28 Libra.
Sorry. Humankind's vast, enduring effort to reach for knowledge transferable from generation to generation.
Nice. Uh-huh. And we
What you can't see, but is always there.
That's right. What is, it's like what's actually fueling things, but you may not
Right.
recognize it's the momentum from behind.
For God's sake, we are not in charge. Like, other forces are at play. Much more intelligent creatures have a handle on things. I am not worried.
I hope so.
Show up
I'm worried about
honestly
the
and
lizard people.
authentically and bravely. Be brave.
Bravery's good. So what's three Pluto? Three Aquarius. This is brand new territory for Pluto. Pluto hasn't been here in, 240 some years.
Three, a Hindu healer.
That's interesting.
That's more of that ancestral knowledge.
Right. And it's also in a loose sextile with the Saturn Sun North Node.
Oh,
So it's lending some energy towards this, moving towards this watery collective, unconscious place where soon Saturn and Neptune will conjoin, taking us out of our illusion
or helping us turn our idealism into materializing it.
into materializing a dream.
And it is a materializing medium. Like I don't want to focus on the delusion.
Right.
I want to materialize the ideal.
Yes. Yes. And both are potential realities depending on who you are and where you are and what outfits your chart.
Exactly.
Exactly. So
It's
what
also
about, sorry, go
Pluto-
ahead.
Pluto's also in a loose sextile, not even that loose, a sextile to Venus.
Right.
Okay.
No, no, not Venus.
No?
No,
Seven Aries.
no, that's square.
Oh.
No, it's a sextile.
Yeah, Pluto.
No, there's a sextile here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's like you say, it's loose, but it is a sextile. Yes,
4 degrees. Let's see what Venus is doing
let's
while
do
she's
it.
underground, while she's in the underworld. 7 Aries.
Well, she's
It,
down there with Pluto. We know who she's hanging with.
right? She's like having a grand old time. A woman's hat with streamers blown by the east wind.
What read 8 Aries?
A crystal gazer.
Uh-huh.
A Hindu healer, a crystal gazer, and a seance.
And she's retrograding back. Her journey is going to take her all the way back into Pisces. She's going
Okay.
to go over all of these planets. She's going to take a little trip where she does, a little, she gives each one of them a kiss.
When is the 40 days over?
I think it's April the 14th. I'd have to actually look it up, but I think it's April the 14th
Okay.
or close. So she's got a ways to do this journey, but she's going to go back and end up opposite this moon configuration that we're looking at now. She
Mm-hmm.
junked this same spot.
Mm-hmm.
So what's being highlighted right here with this eclipse, it's kind of like Venus is saying, you're giving up something. I want to go back and look at what we're moving towards and make
Mm-hmm.
sure that it has the value that I really want to move towards that's
Okay.
really
Like,
my desire.
let's materialize the ideal. Let's
Yeah,
make some well-kept public parks.
yeah. And she wants to go back, go back to Saturn here and make sure that it's a pretty park. It's not just functional, right?
Yeah,
Venus wants to make sure it also satisfies her aesthetic needs.
right. Both and.
Both and that's right. So it's not just a Soviet park outside of the building, the brick
Something
building,
practical and efficient.
right? But it's much more of an
Right.
American park where every
No.
community has contributed to something really beautiful, and we brought together a vision that
Or it's much more like a Native American park where can you tell that it's a park because it's so well kept and so blended in with its ecology?
beautiful.
Could it
Yeah,
be something like that? Could it be a food forest? Could there be food forests with just like some loungers here and there? Some
yeah,
scenes?
yeah. And and again, Neptune is at that place where where's the what's the dream?
A dream.
And that's part of our issue is where's our common dream?
That's right.
And
That is a big part of our
how do
issue.
we move back to the common dream and away from the artificial divisions that have kept us from what is in most cases of, what most of us really desire.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So and notice, in the long run here, we've got a kite forming, and so there is a real destination in this um moving towards this Pisces and the opportunities that dream offers.
Hmm.
So did you read 18 degrees of Cancer?
I did. It was the priest.
Ah, that one's the priest.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one more. Let's do Jupiter at 13 of Gemini.
Two people living far apart in telepathic communication,
Interesting.
right? But Jupiter's not active in this chart, except
It's
there's
not,
almost like
yeah, it's not in a configuration with anything, but it's um it's moving into a place where it's been before because it's just been retrograde. So it has importance in it in that it's going back over things in our chart.
well, and it feels like it's in a weird kind of shadow configuration with Pluto and the Black Moon all in the air signs.
Yeah, and we don't have our I don't have this set up to show an inconjunct.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an exact inconjunct with either one of them, but
No,
again,
it's super far apart degree wise, but like they're all in the air signs.
right.
And they're the only things in the air signs.
Yeah.
I feel like they're in their own little trine, doing their own little thing.
Yeah, that's very interesting. They're the only ones in the air sign. It's actually trying, not inconjunct. It's here. It would be here if it was inconjunct.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mars that's more inconjunct with Pluto.
What if Pluto and the Black Moon are the two people who are living far apart in telepathic communication?
Right, right. Well, and Pluto and Mars don't see each other. They're not acting in unison at all. They're completely on different wavelengths.
Yeah.
Say the three planets that are in air signs are simpatico.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is a positive correlation between Jupiter now moving back forward again through things and maybe what we don't see in Libra and uh, Pluto in the new area, going to new places in Aquarius.
I forgot what the Black Moon was.
28 Libra. Yeah, I don't remember.
Ah, yes, mankind's vast, enduring effort to reach for knowledge transferable from generation to generation.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Two people in telepathic communication.
yeah.
The seance, the medium with the seance. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there that this is a great moon for getting some advice from your deceased loved ones, whether you know them or not. But may they be well in spirit.
Especially with all this Pisces energy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. One last thing, especially speaking of communication, Mercury is at this square, though it's quite a distance, with Mars. What is 9 degrees of Mercury or 10? Very, sorry.
Yeah, which one? 10 or 9?
Uh,
9,
do 9 and 10.
9. Because I've only been reading the 9. I'm going to read 9.
Okay,
A teacher gives new symbolic forms to traditional images.
that fits.
Mm,
Yeah. Because here's our traditional images,
that's
and
right.
we're definitely in need of new symbolic forms.
Heck yes.
Yeah. So, as far as eclipsing, I'm going to move back to out of here now. You know, eclipses always get the, like, ooh, eclipse is really bad. And there have been some pretty notable examples lately of how eclipses have impacted um rulers, I guess I'll put it that way.
Mm,
Uh Last year's eclipse impacted a ruler,
mm,
for example, in a big public way. And so there's some notable examples. I heard Chris Brenner on his, he did a show all about the history of the eclipses, and you can kind of look back through when they were doing a eclipse, when the ancient astrologers were looking at the meaning of eclipses, they weren't looking at how it impacted regular people's lives. They were only looking at how it impacted kings and rulers' lives.
good
So,
point.
how it impacts regular people's lives, you know, I think is probably pretty similar. And it often means, what it means is that um we may lose our head.
It's ancestral. It's
Yeah, and there's real
traditional knowledge, if you will.
knowledge, if you will. So I think the piece of advice that I would give with this is look towards that ancestral knowledge in ways that
Right.
you might avoid losing your head or help some loved one who, because sometimes these represent in our chart somebody close to us or, somebody in our sphere, you know, maybe we can be a catalyst for the positive in helping somebody prevent somebody from losing their head.
I since
Oops, we're locked up. Are we gone? Come back, cat. Shoot. Are
Oh,
you
I can hear you, Mickey, but your
okay?
video froze.
It just froze.
Your connection is unstable. Apparently, it's me.
Unstable. And I keep blinking.
Um, okay, so nine Aries, which is where Mercury is a teacher gives new symbolic forms to traditional images. 10 Aries is the ruler of a nation.
Well, that's interesting. That really has something to do with that symbology of the eclipse, because that's in a negative aspect with Mars.
Okay, cut things away.
Communication may be cut off, and you know, if you lose your head, your tongue might not be working anymore. I don't know.
Mm,
But it could simply just represent, communication, and not, you know, anything actual physical.
right.
But there's some there's some tension in this moon, but there is two beautiful ways out.
Mm,
One is Uranus that offers us maybe a quick change in a new direction, some surprise, thing that can, open up a door. And there is, what was the other one? I've shared again to see it.
yeah.
Oh, and right, and then there's the Mars.
Oh, right.
Both Mars and Uranus are offering a way out of the tension.
Oh, Mars is the marriage ceremony. What was Uranus again?
Uranus is 24 Taurus,
Oh, yeah, the large, well-kept public park.
right? So having the public square is the way out, and also having ceremony or those things that are ritual be the way out. And that kind of makes sense to me. There are, things that keep us, rituals have a purpose.
Yeah, the communal. The
Right,
communal is the way out.
right. Those things that we do regularly together as a community are rituals, and
Hmm.
those community rituals are the way out.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So get in the streets, people,
get in the streets, people, and find ways to create any kind of coalitions and communities wherever you're comfortable and however you can.
and make
Some
sure
people
that
can't go in the streets, but they can
make
communicate with others in other ways. You know,
it's true. It's true. And like whatever you do, make sure that what you're doing is materializing your ideals.
exactly, exactly. And watch out for Black Moon. Pay attention to what your ideals are, so you don't materialize something that, wait a minute, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah. Well, Black Moon's carrying the knowledge. That's what she's got right now.
Right.
She's got what you can't see but is there, which is this like wealth of knowledge of all of human history.
And maybe a ritual that would be helpful would be to think about, in whatever ritual way is comfortable for you, how asking advice from your ancestors.
Yeah, definitely.
All some good ideas, really cool ideas. So have a productive Virgo moon.
Bye.
Bye. We'll see you on the new. We'll see you on the flip side. See ya.